Tosh McGaughy, glad to have you here at Region 10. It's an honor to have you as one of our speakers for the Rest of the Story Literacy Conference today. Just have a couple questions for you. Wanted to pick your brain while we had you.
Okay.
That first question, let's talk about if you were to pull a key idea out of your session today that you want participants to hold tightly to, or maybe even if someone didn't get a chance to attend your session, what would be that one key idea?
Okay. Well, my session was about growing the elementary extended constructed response, which it's a wordy thing, but it is what we're all focused on right now with that new question type that we have on our redesigned STAR that now we have to have for 3rd grade all the way through 10th grade. And when we got our results last year with a new redesigned test and this new question type, there was a lot of panic. And as I sat with teachers and worked with teachers, realized that sometimes as English teachers, we overthink things. Sometimes English teachers do that. And it was, the key piece for me was isolating and streamlining it down to a process the thinking process that we want kids to do, and to put everything else aside and streamline it. And let's just talk about the process of thinking we want kids to do. And we already do this. Let's look at how we're doing it and get more intentional. So that's what we did. We spent some time working through the process and looking at the prompt and the rubric and looking at teachers doing great stuff with books.
Right.
And that's what the session was about.
Awesome. Well, in terms of literacy, let's focus on that for a second and think about an area of literacy you feel could be explored further. What might that be?
Writing. For many years, we've focused so much on reading and math because we've had to with our federal accountability and state accountability and everything. And with writing, that ability to be able to express oneself, as we're seeing all over the country in lots of different ways,
Sure.
That ability to take your ideas and be able to put them persuasively for a reader is key. And so that has been what I have been working on the most. I've really been focused on the writing side. But of course, with our new test, we have to respond in writing to reading. But really, that idea of helping kids connect to what are your ideas, to be able to express their ideas to any audience that's out there. So, and I'm thinking about this personally. I'm going off script here.
It's great.
I have an English major son who is 21, and his name is Max, and he is at UT Arlington. And I know that we have protests going on and all of this, and the ideas that these kids are having to communicate with the community, with their college, and they're having to package their ideas in a persuasive way for these different audiences to get their points across. And I've been watching it all and wanting my 21-year-old English major who goes to that school to weigh in, and he's on a hike today. So he does not want to weigh in, but it has made me think about kids that we have just recently taught who are now in college, who are doing this work all over the United States, taking their opinions and thoughts and crafting messages and having to communicate on this national stage. And so I think there's a ton of work to do, and it's actually work that's happening every day in our classrooms. And we just need to help our kids have the confidence to be able to share their opinions and ideas.
Yeah, that's a compelling thought. I like that little anecdote there about Max.
Poor Max, I know he'll never see this, so please make sure he never sees it, because
Okay.
I will get a text. So
That's great. One more question for you. Education as a profession has become more and more multifaceted, more and more complex. If you were to give a piece of advice to someone just entering the profession, a brand new teacher, as well as a veteran teacher that's seen the range of changes over years, what would you tell those two
different groups.
Yeah.
I love working with pre-service teachers and new teachers, but also my veteran teachers. One of the things is to trust themselves. There is a lot, and it changes almost minute to minute. So those new teachers, a lot of my new teachers feel that they have to be good at everything all the time. There's so much that they feel the expectation is they want to do everything all at once that first and second year, and they shouldn't. They should really focus in on one or two things and give themselves the grace to grow into it. You're not going to be the teacher you are year 1, 2, and 3 that you're going to be in 20 years. And so, and I know that when you look at Instagram pages and Pinterest pages and you compare yourself on social media to other teachers, you want to be all the way there in the very beginning. And so for new teachers to find mentors in the building and to give themselves grace and take their time and get good at one thing at a time, and it'll all come together. And the children will be fine. So, and then my veteran teachers, teachers, I love working with veteran teachers who have seen it and done it. And that's the fun thing when you're working with somebody who's been in it for 20 years and you're like, oh, look, it's a training. They're like, we've done this like 3 or 4 times, you know. I'm like, I know you have. But to bring their expertise to the table and to say, okay, so what has been successful for you with this thing? And then how does it fit with what we're doing here? And how does all these good instructional practices that have been going around what's good is good, and it's still what was good 20 years ago. You know what's good. Let's talk about why it is, and let's talk about what this new language means and why we're using new language to help them connect the really good stuff that they know and they've internalized over the years. So
that's all great stuff. Tosh McGaughy, thank you. It's been an honor having you here today at our literacy conference, and we hope to have you back soon.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.